So something you may not know about me is that I like to make my life difficult when it comes to crafting. I overcomplicate things that don't need to be overcomplicated. It's just how I work, and it's both a blessing and a curse. I made the first part of this diorama in the last video, and this video was supposed to be just adding a waterfall, a couple details, and cleaning up the edges. A couple days of crafting, max. Well, I've been chipping at it for 2 weeks, so let's find out what the hell I've been doing. Okay, first things first, I need to deal with these ugly sides because they're driving me crazy. A common method of cleaning up the edges of dioramas is to just paint it black. If you've seen some of my other work, you know I try to find other ways that maybe look more natural or to cover it with wood or something. In this case, I decided to design and print a custom base that would fit the curves exactly. The idea is to have a clear acrylic cover that fits snugly over top of this base. However, when I designed this, I didn't think about the logistics of cutting the acrylic to match all these wonky curves. It'd be super easy if I had a laser cutter, but I don't. I will get one eventually, just I don't have one right now. My solution was to print these templates that fit the curves exactly, and that way I can tape them to the acrylic and theoretically follow these curves with my rotary tool. Theoretically. Before I do any cleanup on this print, I want to make sure I can actually cut the acrylic to match the curves because my confidence is like 20% right now. I don't know if I can actually do it. So let's see if it works. So this line here is where it was supposed to break, and here's where it broke. The acrylic I tested this on was significantly thinner, and I think I underestimated how many cuts I needed to get a clean break. So of course I don't have any backup acrylic panels, and I ordered some more, but it's going to be 2 weeks before they get here. While I'm waiting, I figured I'd make some upgrades to this piece. This one doesn't have any lighting in it like my normal work does, so I figured I might as well add some lights and make it a table lamp. Why not? I picked up one of these puck lights from Amazon, and I think it'll cast a nice glow from the top. So I'm going to jump into Blender now and make some changes and see what I can come up with. This lens is really heavy. My arm is dying. Okay. Alright, now that the base is sanded and primed, it's time to get the diorama in there. First I need to seal up the front to prevent the resin from leaking out later on. I marked some scrap acrylic so I can cut the matching shape out with my rotary tool. As a bonus, this is good practice for what I'll be doing later. Perfect fit! As you can see, I didn't make the sides of this diorama 90 degrees, so I'll have to fill these gaps in. First I'll glue in the resin barrier and then seal it with some UV resin. Once the diorama is securely glued in place, I use some Das air dry clay to fill in the sides. I do a little bit of sculpting to make it match the scenery, and hey, not bad. But wait, this needs a little something. There we go. After gluing in the resin barrier at the back, I use layers of UV resin to create the top waterfall barrier. This worked really well for this size, but you might need to use something else if you have a large waterfall. It's time to mix up the resin for the top and bottom of the falls. It's really easy to overdo it with resin pigments, so I started using this little trick a while ago and it has saved me a lot of wasted resin. First I pour a little bit of resin into a small cup and then add the ink color to it, and then I use this to color the main resin pour. This gives me a lot more fine control over the amount of pigment. A little IPA and the hot glue comes right off. Alright, it's finally time to make the waterfall. I'm using some clear acetate sheets, but I used the lid off a sushi takeout container from my older one, so you can just use what you find. I marked some rough guides with dry erase marker and cut away the plastic until it fits the shape I want. The best way to get a realistic shape is to use some reference photos. Keep cutting pieces of plastic until you have what you need. You can curl the plastic at the top by rolling it in your fingers. I like to assemble everything with tape first just to make sure it all fits. I want to take this time to thank my 2 top patrons, Brent the Hitman Henneberry and Elderscribe. Thank you so much. And thank you to all my other awesome patrons as well. Because of your support, I can finally get a hot wire cutter, so you'll see that come up in a future video. Thank you so much, you guys are incredible. Okay, moving on, I cut a few notches out of the bottom so that it doesn't look like one solid sheet. The acrylic needs to be tinted before it goes into the diorama because it can get pretty messy if you try to do it after. I use the same ink ratio I used to tint the resin, but this time I mix it into gloss medium. I mix up a small batch just like I did with the resin, and then I use this to tint the main batch of gloss medium. It just gives you so much more control. Okay, now I brush the tint onto the plastic in a couple thin coats. Cover the tint and put it aside for now, you'll need more later. I like to add some gloss under the waterfall to make the rocks look wet. I'm using varnish, but you can use any gloss product. UV resin is a quick and secure way to glue your waterfall in, but super glue and activator works just as well. Now grab the tint from earlier and use it to blend the streams of water into the rocks where they meet. You can use some untinted gloss medium if you have any gaps or seams to fill. Not too friggin' shabby. Yeah, that's the Canadian coming out in me. Now it's time to add the foam. I did some tests and tried some different methods of foam with various white powders I had lying around my house. Turns out my tried and trusted baking soda remains the champion. The consistency is great and it dries with a bit of translucency that sells the fact that this is foamy water. Mix up a thin paste with gloss gel and baking soda and spread this liberally over the surface of the falls. Lay it on thick in the lower areas and a bit thinner as you near the top. Now add more baking soda to your mixture to make it so thick that it behaves like a putty. Squish this around the bottom and up the edges. Keep pushing it around and blending until you like how it looks. Grab some Mod Podge and dab it onto the surface of the water to give it some texture. After the Mod Podge dried, I went back in with a thick paste to add more texture. I also used some gloss gel to blend the seams a bit more before I called it good. Alright, we're almost done, so now let's paint the outside and get some plants in there. And just in time, my acrylic has arrived, and let's do it right this time. I can't believe it actually worked. One thing's for certain though, I will never do this again without a laser cutter. That sucked. Now that I look at it, I feel like there's something missing here. And if I have the opportunity to add unnecessary work, you know I will. This spot right here looks a little too empty, don't you think? I sculpted a stag for an older project and I'm convinced he will make a great addition to this little scene. So let's get it printed, prepped, and painted. Okay, I have to stop myself before I get any more ideas. I assembled and finished the light fixture off camera, and I think I'm ready to call it good. This waterfall tutorial turned into a full project, but that's just how I roll. Was it worth it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.